Oh. I love it.
Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, bonjour.
Look at this. Thank you very much.
How are you?
Good, my friend. How are
Hello,
you?
everybody. Bonjour. Bisous.
Two, that's right. That's right.
To kiss like the French.
Kiss like the French.
Eat like the French. Drink like the French.
Oh, I have no problem drinking like the French. That is a piece of cake for me.
Here we go.
Look at
I brought
this.
some wine.
Look at this. Look at Bob knows me. Look at these glasses.
Some big glasses and a little of the French Pinot Noir. Okay, that's a grape that not that many people know about.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, they're not that familiar with.
No.
They think it only comes from Oregon,
or
the Northwest, and the reality is that it is the great grape of Burgundy, Bourguignon.
Everything started in France.
It all started there, and that's the classic shaped bottle.
Look at this.
A little lighter and a beautiful, catch the bouquet on that.
Oh, I'm going to,
Okay,
trust me. Look at this
is
glass.
Wonderful.
This is my kind of glass.
Yeah. I know that guest Barrow you
Oh
hang
my
out
God.
with. He's got a bigger one. but,
Yeah, he's got a massive
Yeah.
glass. Ridiculous.
Cheers. Cheers. A little swirl, a little look, a little sniff.
So I am
And a
never
taste, of
surprised
course.
when I'm hanging out with Bob because he just never surprises me, and everything is absolutely amazing. This is gorgeous.
It's as good as it was at breakfast.
Oh my God! See, this is why we get along so well. We know how to start up. We know how to start up the day. So
And how to finish
And then we're not to finish it. Absolutely. So I had Bob in when we were talking about legacy restaurants, and I've mentioned several times of how long we've known each other and great friends and great acquaintances that we've dealt with over the years. As he's pulling out all his tools here.
Well, we're going to need
I'm
to
gonna
eat,
I'm gonna
right?
talk about him while he's pulling out all his
Un
tools.
peu quelque chose pour manger. Oui, monsieur?
Oui.
Bien.
So
Excellent.
I have to bring up, and we're talking about the influence and understanding the French dining and how to educate people about it, is that your passion, and we got to go back to this and talk about how and why. That's not the city, but why did you decide to open a French restaurant?
I didn't open a French restaurant. The Pot au Feu was there for 14 years before my wife and I bought it.
Okay.
Well, so why did we choose to buy a French restaurant?
There we go. Okay.
Because it was there. No, it's like efforts. No, Annie started.
Poor Annie. How do
I
you
had
do with
loved.
this?
I had loved French food and wine forever. I had lived in Europe. I knew that was the pinnacle of it. Wherever you go all over the French. It's amazing.
I'll agree with
And
that.
what I knew, and she had been there and loved the Pot au Feu, and it was an enduring passion of hers. And we just said, you know what? You're running it. She was the general manager, and in 1986 we bought it. A friend of mine, I remember saying, Bob, no, you must not mean the Pot au Feu. They wouldn't let you buy that place. It's an institution. And I said, well, they are. And we never looked back. We've had a great time because it was a great time to be in Providence. It was a great time to be serving. But really, the Pot au Feu in 1972, the first of the Renaissance restaurants,
Yeah.
because it's the first place you can get something other than steak, spaghetti, and chow mein.
And that's what
This
I go
is
back
the
to.
big difference
But so
now.
this is important though. So the restaurant was there before you bought it. Then you bought it, and you've kept it since that time frame. How has your menu evolved to educate these guests and these people that were unfamiliar? Because you said reputation was already there.
First of all, we're not interested in ever educating a guest. We don't want to do that. It's not our job.
Okay.
If there are people who come and would like to learn, we're happy to share with them. But it's never our job. And that's one of the things that goes wrong with French restaurants, is that
Okay.
is too often they have an air of superiority, a feeling that I know more than you do, and I'm going to let you feel that when we serve you. And we're so conscious about saying, it doesn't matter what you know about French cuisine. You came to enjoy food, you came to enjoy
You're gonna
a
enjoy
great
this
date or a wonderful experience. We're not going to let education get in the way of people enjoying that experience.
But if someone comes in and they're
Mhm.
looking for that knowledge, you're
Yes.
there to provide.
Oh my God, we're so happy to share the knowledge.
Right.
But it's never our job to be an
Pushing it
educator.
on there.
Push
Okay.
it on,
Gotcha.
and most importantly, not to have that, that classic French waiter.
Well,
I'm sorry, you
and
don't know
that's-
how to pronounce the wine.
and this is what we were
That's what
emphasizing.
we don't do.
Okay, so this is perfect. This is what you just said is what I've been emphasizing to now everyone we've been talking with, is that I don't feel that that air is there with these restaurants, and I feel that this is the opportunity for people to understand is that you can walk it, like you walk into Pas de Feu, and you almost feel like you have that Cheers atmosphere. Everybody greets you, and it's welcoming, and you're comfortable
Yes.
in the first 30 seconds, right?
The welcome is so important
Right,
to us.
right.
Bienvenue en français, to welcome. That's what's so important, to share the table, share the food, share the experience. That's what it's all about. And, you know, I want to mention something because this is something that I think is interesting, is that, you know,
Talk about it once, I'm drinking the wine.
well, one of the things that happens today, you know, I want to, is, you know, the Yelpsters, okay? To understand what we're doing, you have to understand that we think that Yelp is the sound a dog makes when it gets hit by a truck, okay? So if you're one of those snotty little Yelpsters who thinks that every restaurant in the world wants to be the next 15 minutes in cuisine,
Right.
we are the last 500 years
Oh, cuisine.
in cuisine.
Right.
We couldn't care less about being the next 15 minutes.
Oh,
And if someone were to invent a great recipe tonight, in 100 years, if it's still around, I'm interested.
there you go.
But
There you go.
otherwise, understand that we are the past. We don't want to be the future.
And we're going to talk about that
We don't care
inspiration
about
with him because he hones true to the past. So I want to talk about that in a minute. But first, what is in this kettle?
I brought my pot.
These pots. What did you
From
bring in?
Pot de Feu.
Oh my God.
Oh, God. I'm only kidding. It's not that hot.
Holy cow! What is this?
These, Monsieur Escargot. Can we show this to the camera?
Yeah, we can lift this
Can
up.
we do that?
Yep.
Can we do that?
You lift it up. It's still hot there.
These are, okay.
Tony, can you see that?
Can you, Tony, can you see the escargot?
There you go. You can see it
Huh?
now.
You got it?
You got
Okay,
it.
good. So these are snails. And here's the big thing
Oh my
to
God.
understand.
Molly's yellow. Is that Molly or Kate?
To understand
God.
about French cuisine, okay? You have to understand that French cuisine was invented by people who were starving to death, okay? Not like come home and say, oh, I'm starving, honey, what's to eat? I mean, like your kids, you just buried them starving,
Oh my
okay?
gosh.
So that's why when they see a little snail crawling, I'd wrestle you to the death for it, Rick.
You're kidding.
Because it was protein and they were starving. So the French eat all these things because they were starving. They eat the liver, the brains. Oxtail becomes oxtail soup. The intestines become sausages. Pig's feet. There's no meat on pig's feet.
Yeah, I don't know where the pig's feet.
It's
come
a
from.
French delicacy because even that little bit of nutrition.
Wow.
And now the ultimate, the secret of French cuisine is we take, to this day,
Yeah.
100 pounds of bones. We put them in a pot. We boil them for 36 hours to extract the flavor and nutrition even from the bones.
36 hours.
The French would not let the nutrition escape even from the bones. So this is the basis of our cuisine even today.
It smells
Okay.
the aroma.
So we're still doing that. And it was back in the Iron Age when the pot was first invented that man could finally do something with the bones. Because up until then, the only people who could eat them were the dogs.
Okay.
Okay? So now you take this escargot, and this is land, not sea. Okay? And there it is with garlic butter.
I can smell it.
The beautiful garlic butter. So Ricky, are you ready, mon ami?
Well, look at this. We
Okay?
got bread
This is
in
like Pretty
here.
Woman. This is like Pretty Woman.
He's
Okay,
educating
take,
me here. and
Take
I
the
just-
escargot.
I'm taking the
And now
escargot.
I'm going to rip off a little bread.
Okay.
I'm going to dip the bread into
I'm being
This-
educated on how to eat
that garlic butter.
escargot.
Look how green it is, that garlic
beautiful.
butter. Okay, monsieur, your escargot, go ahead and eat it.
I eat the escargot.
Eat the escargot.
Mm-hmm. Now I have that.
And now a little bread dipped in the butter. This is how the French, you're going to any bistro tonight, anywhere in France, this is how they're eating their escargot. And now
Okay.
a little bit of red wine.
Oh my God.
Ooh la la. Ah, mon Dieu.
So now you know the
Isn't that
truth
beautiful?
about French
Pretty
inspired
woman.
dining. I just ate escargot
Pretty woman.
live on air,
Mm.
and it was delicious.
Oh, that's so
Absolutely delicious.
good. That was so good. So,
I'm blown away. All right.
so the tradition really is about, and in a bistro, French bistro, friendly, families, no pressure, no one correcting your pronunciation of the wine.
I gotta be
No one
honest.
doing
It's
any
the very
of those
first time I've
things.
ever had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so now we got to get back to some inspirational things here with you, because this is the problem with Bob and I. We could talk for
I
an
have
hour.
been inspirational enough.
So, you recently went. You're always inspirational. This is what I'm saying. We could talk for an hour. You recently went to France.
Yes, yes, I was in Paris in May.
So tell us a little bit about that trip, because it's obviously continuing with the passion of what you do here at Pot de Feu and the investments you made in the restaurant. So let's talk a little bit about what you did on that trip, because you did a special thing.
I'm very fortunate because I've been to, yes, have more.
Okay.
I've been to even try to learn how to use the tongs. So
you're
you
gonna have to
squeeze
show me
the
that one
tongs, which
afterwards.
releases it. Okay, so you press them together, you wrap them around the escargot, and you release them, and it will pick them up. It works the reverse of pliers. Okay? So,
Well, he's telling us about
in Paris, I was very lucky. I've been so many times. I actually, a private client booked me to do a private tour of Paris and a champagne sabering at the Eiffel Tower.
At the Eiffel Tower.
At the Eiffel, which was a dream come true for me because I was inducted.
That's the first time you've done
in
that?
1990. Well, at the Eiffel Tower. You know, they practically don't allow you in France if you are an American saboteur. So this tradition of me cutting open champagne bottles, I've done all over. I've done it on the, you know, out in Napa. I've done it in Nantucket, Chatham for weddings, and Newport, and all kinds of things. But what a dream come true! Du Zac, the top. We'll, on another show, we'll do that.
We'll do the Zac. We got this. We need some.
We'll
have
get
to
a
raise-
wide
we'll have
angle
to raise the camera and do
get a
this.
wide angle camera. And we'll do the Zac. But in the meantime, I got to go to the marchés. I got to see so many of the wonderful things. I got to go to Tour d'Argent, and this is a great example of what it is about the French, the tradition. This restaurant, overlooking the Seine, a view of Notre Dame, is famous for its duck, and we have duck on the menu at Pot de Feu, and it's delicious.
One of my favorite dishes there.
And the thing that's so great is they bring out a card. My duck was the 1,500,732nd duck that they serve.
That is
And they
too
give
funny.
you a numbered duck
That is hilarious.
with a certificate that you take home with you.
So when you're there,
Yeah.
and you have these experiences, and,
Mhm.
you get to do the sabering, which is phenomenal, and I've seen it many times and love it. Do you take some of that when you come back and say, okay, am I doing this right? Do I change the menu this way? Do I look at some of the adaptions and stuff that are there? Do you?
Always, always, always. You're always shaping, you're always seeing, you know, trying a different oyster, trying a different preparation, you know, everything that just a little twist. I'll give you an example. When we first started, we never served beef bourguignon because beef bourguignon was
They're calling from France.
Kev, I'm sorry I'm on TV right now. I can't talk to you. So what happened, he just came back from France. He had his wedding at Pot de Feu. You want to have a wedding at Pot de Feu? See me. So anyway, what? So I got to do business. You want a reservation for tonight?
No, oh my gosh. Oh my God.
But
Why?
here's the thing. We
Finish
went
it.
to a chef in Burgundy because everywhere I had been, beef bourguignon was Irish stew that somebody poured red wine.
Okay.
And we knew it had to be different. And we went there. The chef comes out after I said, please, I love this. Tell me the recipe. And he says, no, I cannot tell you. And I said, well, then if you don't mind, may I see the owner? He turns around, he walks away. He walks back and he says, hello, I understand. And he finally gave us the recipe. And it's simplicity personified. All of this overdone, too complex, too many moving parts. That is the sign that it's
style
really
of it.
not French.
Gotcha.
It's just, and this is what he told me.
So this goes back to the whole thing about it not being pretentious.
That's it.
Right.
Red wine, beef, spice, cook. That is the simplicity of it. And over and over again, that's what we found, is not how do you make it fancier, not how do you pile it up, not how do you know, work on it so long that it's lukewarm, but rather how do you just get to the heart of that food,
The food. Okay.
the simplicity.
So
That's French
this is a
cuisine.
reoccurring thing that I'm loving about that. So before we let Bob go, because like I said, this could be a challenge. We could talk for an hour. If someone is visiting the Pot de Feu for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and there are still people out there, believe it or not, that are doing that.
Yeah, it's great.
What is a dish that you would recommend that they try?
If you want beef, have the bœuf bourguignon.
Okay.
If you want chicken, have the coq au vin. If you want seafood, have the bouillabaisse. Okay?
Okay.
These are the heart and soul of French
French
cuisine.
cooking.
And whether it's beef, chicken, bouillabaisse, a beautiful vegetarian cassoulet, we've got all of that. And you cannot
So we gave you
leave
4 choices.
cannot leave without having the crème brûlée
Yeah, I
which
actually agree with that.
is in a soup bowl.
And now I have to say, so is this considered an appetizer or a meal when they come in?
People will eat it both ways. Actually, interestingly, this would be an appetizer. Appetizer portion you order by the half dozen, so 6, 12, 18.
Gosh.
And then, but some people would easily make this because the French eat their big meal at lunch. A lot of people would have this at dinner. A dozen
it's light.
escargot, a little salad, some crusty bread, red wine, and
Yeah, it's I'm fast becoming
You know?
wanting more French food. I'm loving it. Thank you, my friend. You are awesome. You know, if this stays here, I won't be crying, just for the record, because that was amazing. And this, I will be
No,
coming
no.
back and forth because this is, I'm shocked. My first time having it, I'm going to say that. And I did it live on air, and I didn't squirm, and I
did it.
enjoyed it. It
You
was
did it.
amazing.
And now Molly is
Molly's-
going to have
Molly-
her
Molly
first.
wants one, yeah.
Molly's going to have her first.
Molly has to have one.
She didn't want one earlier, but I know now that she can't resist.
Molly's are delicious.
So we're going to go
Put
back
your
and
other
eat
tools right
escargot
now.
with Molly. And if you're walking around downtown watching this on your phone, stop. Rick, as always, merci mon ami.
Thank you so much.
I'll come get my glass.
I'll
later.
bring